Hi there. Today we're going to learn how to multiply rational numbers. So to multiply fractions, first you're going to multiply the numerators. So multiply the top number. Then you're going to multiply the denominators. So you're going to multiply the bottom numbers. And then you're going to simplify the fractions. This method always works when you're trying to multiply fractions. Always. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then simplify. So here's an example of that. This example says, find 1/6 times 2/3. Write the product in simplest form. So 1/6 times 2/3. Multiply the numerators first. So 1 times 2 equals 2. Now let's multiply the denominators. 6 times 3 equals 18. So we have 2 over 18, which simplifies to 1/9. All I did was multiply across. 1 times 2 is 2. 6 times 3 is 18. And then I just simplified. Another way you can multiply rational numbers or fractions is to simplify before you multiply. So if the fractions have common denominators in the numerators and the denominators, you can simplify first. So here's an example, 3/4 times -7/9. To begin with, I know my answer is always going to be negative because it's positive times negative is a negative, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I have 3/4 -7/9. I have common factors in 3 and 9. So you're allowed to have common factors across or diagonal. You're allowed to, so if you have if there's a factor that goes in this number and a factor that goes in this number, you can cross them out and change the numbers or simplify. Same thing with these. So if you have factors that go into numbers diagonal of each other, then you can simplify. So here we have 3, here we have 9. You can cross out that 3, and you can cross out the 9. The common factor that goes in 3 and 9 is 3, right? So let's think about this. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. So I'm going to change the fractions and make it now 1/4 times -7/3. So now I'm going to multiply my numerators. 1 times -7 is -7. 4 times 3 is 12. So again, all I did was just go across. 1 times -7, 4 times 3. And then you get -7/12. This simplifying beforehand just helps you to avoid simplifying in the end, which can get a little annoying if you have really big numbers at the end. Here's an example of it with mixed numbers. First, you want to rename 2 1/3 as 7/3 and 2 5/7 as 19/7. So first we want to rename them into improper fractions. Now your choice, you could either multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators and simplify from there. You will get the same exact answer. However, I'm going to show you how to simplify again first. If I look diagonal, I have 7 and 7. Well, a common factor that goes into 7 and 7 is 7. Right? So I'm going to cross out the 7. I'm going to cross out that 7. 7 goes into 7 once. 7 goes into 7 once. So now I can multiply across because 19 and 3, there's no common factors between those two numbers. So I'm going to multiply 1 times 19 and get 19. And I'm going to multiply 3 and 1 and get 3. So 19/3, and then you simplify at the end to 6 1/3. Now, if you wanted to just do 7 times 19, 3 times 7, you will get an answer. And then you just simplify to 6 1/3. It's the same, you'll end up getting the same exact answer. All right. And here's how to evaluate 1/2 times A times B if A equals 6/7 and B equals -4/9. Write in simplest form. All you do is plug in this fraction for A, plug in this fraction for B. Make sure that you have the negative. Remember, this is a negative. All right, so once we replace those numbers, once we substitute, I should say, those numbers, again, you can multiply across 1 times 6 times negative 4, 2 times 7 times 9, get a fraction, and then simplify it. We all know how to do that already, so I'm going to keep showing you how to do it by simplifying first. So if we look diagonal, numerator, denominator, numerators, denominators, we have 6 and 9. A common factor between these two numbers is 3, right? So I can cross out the 6 and make it a 2 because 3 goes into 6 twice. I can cross out this 9 and make it a 3 because 3 goes into 9 3 times. Also, another common factor is this 2 and the 4. So 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. All right, so all I did was take this numerator, take this denominator, and simplify them. I found the GCF, or the greatest common factor, and I just divided. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. Same thing with the 6 and the 9. 3 goes into 6 twice, 3 goes into 9 3 times. And lastly, just multiply across. 1 times 2 is 4. 1 times 7 times 3 is 21. Now, we do have this negative over here. So these two would be positive. This is negative. So our answer is going to be negative. So it's negative 4 over 7 times 3. It's 21. Negative 4 over 21. Okay, so you can choose which method you like. You could just do this, multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators and then simplifying. This is totally okay if you'd rather stick with this. Or you can simplify before you multiply. That just means you just look diagonally at the fractions and see what common factor goes into them first. So you're saving a step in the end by doing it first. Okay, so I hope you learned how to multiply rational numbers.